Namaste, angels. It's going to be our weekly love reading. And this is kind of exciting. I'm beginning with 29. So I'll just tell you that both the King and Queen of Fire, or Wands, which of course is representative of a divine couple in the tarot, appeared in the spread, as did the Two of Wands, all three in the same spread. So that is definitely, when 29 is showing up with relation to the love reading, I have to connect it to that and say that that means partnership and commitment. Also sex. And email. So some of us will remember that Uranus is in retrograde. And that can be what this email is about. Ooh. Spirit says, buy shoes. And you know what? In some cases, this is about leaving situations that are no longer for us. Like this is our walking shoes, basically. Like these boots are made for walking, Nancy Sinatra. Also, it's 50-50, and it's 50-50 came up in the general reading as well. And I connected it to that Two of Wands and to some other things that showed up in that reading. You'll have to check it out for yourself. But about the partnership and give and take and supporting one another. And Spirit still says sex. So awesome. All right, so let's get right into it, beginning with the Divine Masculine perspective and Guardian from the Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle. And opening to the Divine Masculine of all time, or at least a vibration of him, Jesus Christ, the Universal Heart. This is in fact our guardian, and may specifically be, or particularly be, our guardian this week. Or whom we're supposed to seek guardian if we find ourselves falling into fear. These two cards have the same colors in them. If you feel this, seek this, basically. Guardian. And the goddess of the moon, all about feminine energy of surrender, letting go, and allowing. This was also a very prevalent theme in the general reading. And here it's saying that we can feel safe letting go and allowing, particularly because we're protected. Like we don't have to holding up our own guard all the time. We can be completely bare, nude, naked, and still safe. Guardian. Aw, and Soulmate and more moon. So on this very happy note, with this goddess emerging from a lotus flower and sort of, moving into a place of surrender, it would seem here, tossing her head back, closing her eyes, and just, like giving herself unto the moon. I think that's a very positive note on which to cut here. So I'm going to do that. And it's transmutation. So this is all about ascension and rise and elevation, which was also a very prevalent theme in the general reading. And the overall energy is transience, which for me is all about healing, more surrender. I ended on a note with the generals, particularly having to do with the masculine. But again, like I said, you're going to have to check it out for yourself if you really want to understand what it was about. But it ended with a note. There was an energy that popped up for them to allow them to draw upon this feminine energy of surrender too. And that would further allow them to then turn around and allow for the process of death and rebirth, and also like rest and rejuvenation, rest and replenishment, and, you know, endings and new beginnings. This is very similar. You see all these points here. The woman, I mean, there's some that are sort of, you know, really prevalent here. This very bright spot on her third eye. This one right here, crown chakra. So crown chakra, third eye. She's got one here on her throat. One here, like over her breast. This could be heart chakra, throat chakra. So she's being healed in like very specific areas that's going to strengthen and elevate her, raise her vibration, and like bless her to be a blessing, basically. This is our overall energy. So the feminine about herself here. One of my daughters, every time she comes in here, she has to pick these people up. It's like, I don't know. The masculine about the feminine. About himself and the union as a whole. Overall. The outcome. What the feminine can do, or what the masculine would have the feminine to do specifically toward the union, what he himself is willing to do, and what the universe would have the two of them to do. Feminine, earth connection. So I think doing this, it's 1:44 a.m. again. This is the second time it's 1:44 a.m. I was just made to turn around because my clock is behind me. It's not even in front of me, but I just heard like turn around. So this is the second time that it's 1:44 because I had to turn after 1:44. Quickly came 2 a.m. at which point it was time for me to turn my clock back an hour. So it's reached 1:44 again. But I had started to say, especially on the day that I'm doing this reading, which it's the 5th, you know, so we're just off of the full moon and the full moon in Taurus. So specifically very maternal, very Venus energy. Venus also active this week. Venus entering Scorpio on the 7th. Venus is, of course, ruler of Taurus. However, we're in this Taurus moon. I just think she's like calling us home, basically, you know, like come to mommy and get the nurturing that we need. And let's reconnect and work on our relationship, mother-daughter. And it can also be about, you know, earth signs, particularly impactful upon the feminine this week, or her own energy as an earth sign or taking on those attributes this week. The masculine about the feminine. From his perspective, she's got something that she has to let go in order for us to, or for them to be able to move forward as a couple. He sees that she's stuck by something from her past. This heaven on earth card, it's about the fact that we can have our own individual heaven on earth, whatever that means for us, when we're able to like receive our blessings, our new beginnings. So when we unblock ourselves, how do we do that? By letting go of, you know, this baggage that we keep trying to carry along with us down our new path from our old self, our old life. And it can be our past and or past life or lives from which we're carrying these things. Until we let them go. So this calls, you know, surrender back into play too, because we could like surrender our baggage. Until we can do that, we don't have a space vacated for the new. And the masculine recognizes that going on in our lives. That's not to say that it's not happening in his too, but he recognizes it in ours, you know, nonetheless, whether he has a similar situation going on or not. About himself, message from afar. The first thing I heard was that this was like a 3D communication. He can be making, he could be reaching out and initiating this message from afar. Or it can be going to him, and it may be connected to that email die, or to the, the energy of Uranus. Also, I'm getting like afar doesn't have to be like land and distance. It can be time too. So it can be, the past. There may have been some time that has elapsed before, since we've been in contact, or delivered any messages of any real substance to one another. Another meaning is the connection between the masculine and the universe, and the messages from afar, in that sense that he himself is receiving. And, the need to pay attention to those messages, those signs. And the masculine on the union as a whole. Ah, moon tree. Well, this is awesome for more than one reason. Again, because of the full moon, so I like when the moon shows up for the full moon, which never fails in my readings. There's always a moon card. But also, I guess more importantly, especially as it relates to love, moon tree is about sacred marriage. It's the marriage between heaven and earth. And it's the marriage between two sacred beings. So this is the divine union. This is 29 as it relates to love. Oh. Overall, so our overall energy here, the gateway. And we're all approaching this portal. And it's 50-50. Like, we can go in together, or we can, one can lead the way and we can prepare a space for the other. One can help the other through, like grab my hand. And it'll be different for everybody. But we all will reach this point. And not be alone, It's going to be positive. What would the masculine have the feminine do here? Physical body. And I'm feeling in some ways this is working on your physical body. Not that he finds you unattractive, but it's what you feel about yourself is what I'm hearing and getting here. Things that the feminine is unhappy with, like he doesn't like hearing it. He doesn't like hearing it. And I'm sort of getting like, if you're unhappy with it, fix it. Like he will take you as you are, but you won't take you as you are, basically. And that could be some of the baggage that you could be carrying. Like this, these thoughts, negative thoughts about yourself, even that you have to let go. It's a block. Also, specifically as it relates to the sacral chakras and maybe connected to the sex die, and the solar plexus, those are parts of our physical body on which we have to work too. And that's calling this back to mind because, again, these specific points, these rays are coming at specific chakra points on this female here. And this one is surrounded by all this yellow and orange. So that's Archangel Ariel, the orange. That's Archangel Uriel with the yellow. And the yellow also represents the solar plexus. So that would be here, the abdomen. And the orange represents the sacral. So that would be below the abdomen and down into like the sacred areas. Those are specific points on which we may need to work too. So it's physical body, but maybe in a more spiritual sense, as in the chakras. And just to mention, when I picked up the transients, also up right behind it is reflection. So we may need to do some of this feminine in order to figure out for ourselves what it is, you know, we need to let go. Like maybe we need to think on it. What don't I need to carry forward with me into my new situation? How can I lighten my bags? Think about it as going on vacation, permanent vacation. I gotta, you know, fit all this stuff into this little space. What don't I need? What is not going to be beneficial to me and or, you know, my partner or our union? Because that's going to stay behind. And we're just going to walk away from it. We're going to surrender it to the universe. It's a charitable donation. Because you know what? We're going to get more. Behind that is blessings with Mother Mary. There's also a feast day for Mary, also on the 7th. The same day that Venus enters Scorpio, Mary is recognized as being like, basically like the mother of all grace and God's right hand man. Also up right behind that is Trilogy of Light. So a lot of these same sort of messages. This is about connecting to the universe and, you know, being its right hand or attempting to be nearer and dearer to it always. And how do we get to be that? By being love, right? God is love. The universe is love. If we want to, we're made in its image, we're made in God's image. We too are love, but we have to actively be it. Maybe in order to do that, first, there's an inner child that we have to heal. There's more energy of Aquarius coming through as well. And also air sign in general. This child is surrounded by air. She has something to say. Maybe his throat chakra yet again. This could be part of the physical body too. Throat chakra, third eye chakra, crown chakra. You can listen to some meditations to heal that. Messages from afar. The sounds of the universe. Maybe even the planet Uranus. You could listen to the planet Uranus. You know, they have the sounds of the planets online too. And all of this will enable us to be able to embrace ourselves as 50-50. This is one person's inner masculine and feminine coming into balance. This is somebody liking themselves, loving themselves, not being displeased or unhappy with themselves. And how did that come about? Meditation, right? Meditation, possibly healing sounds, but any type of meditation, whatever it is with which you feel comfortable. And that'll make you feel stronger, more, you know, adept to the messages that you're receiving. And you are guided to follow that intuition. And there's more Aquarius here. This is air and water here with the mystic. And to not fail me, the last card that's up right there, the goddess of the moon, of course. This is the last card up, right? The next one is relationship, but it's upside down. And this takes us full circle to the energy, the feminine energy of surrender, surrendering to, you know, the guidance that we're receiving and whatever it is the universe is moving us to do so that we can heal and move forward. All of these cards, you know, to that end. What is the masculine willing to do? Answer prayer. So the masculine, in many cases, didn't necessarily feel that he wanted any, you know, answered prayer, that he was special enough to get any answers or prayers, you know, like that's for lucky people. That's not for me. But that has changed. And he sort of understands now this energy of ask and you shall receive. You know, believe it and receive it. Our thoughts become our reality. Let me manifest my needs and have some faith and really bring them to fruition. So he's there now. That's awesome. And what would the universe have the two of us to do? Oh, Sacred Union sitting here atop Moon Tree. How awesome is this week going to be? Isn't this beautiful? Sacred union sitting here atop what is essentially sacred marriage. What could the outcome possibly be? Divine guidance. So just follow this. And it's sitting here under message from afar. Follow the divine guidance. We got more moon. So it's more surrender to the divine guidance. Listen to it. And you know that it's, don't forget it. Know that it's always there for you. It's infinite. See this infinity symbol? It is infinite. Always going to be there to help us. And all of these cards coming here, coming through with the same colors and the same overlying theme, representing our divinity and what we mean to the universe and, what it wants to mean to us. And the sacred marriage between, again, us and the universe, heaven and earth, and then between each other. Bookend in the middle, sandwiched in. Wow. Can't wait to see what the other cards are going to say. So that was, in great part, the masculine, but it was like the masculine's perspective. But that last one, that sacred union, that was from the perspective of the universe. So the universe on the same page as the masculine, that yes, this week is about sacred marriage. So with that, I'm going to do a spread from the perspective of the universe, beginning with new love. And this can very well be love anew, perhaps with a Scorpio or Capricorn or Gemini, or somebody else that's, has the propensity to be a wallflower. Nope. Well, wallflower exposed again. Otherwise, new love was back. And communication. This could be Uranus yet again. And that energy of email. New love. Beauty queen. This is about feeling good about yourself as opposed to what I was getting from the feminine in that physical body card. New love. And children. I think there, in that moment, the children were also representing not necessarily specifically new love, but new beginnings. Children, like birth of something new. New love is back. And true love. Maybe I'll make this the last one. On this note, I will cut. Yes. There's the dark male. He wants to be seen. But spiritual growth is the card to which I have come. Dark male, impactful this week. And the overall energy is true gem. This could be representing the value of the relationship, right? The worth. And perhaps specifically a Gemini, especially with Venus, again, involved this week. Venus in Scorpio is sort of like the Queen of Swords and the Scorpion King, maybe even Isis and Osiris back together again. But true gem, yeah, somebody can be getting engaged, married as well, or entering some sort of commitment represented by this gemstone here. Divine couple. Recent past. Near future. Masculine's higher self. Blocks to the union. What the feminine can do, the masculine can do. What the universe would further have them do, and the outcome. Divine couple. Oh, young male. So it's sort of like children, like I was saying before. This is new and youthful and like starting again, happy-go-lucky. The top is down. This is the energy of the energy of the union this week. Fresh. We are young, Heartache to heartache we stand. No promises, no demands, right? Love is a battlefield. It's all that fresh, young, youthful energy of love. I can dig it. Recent past, dealing with past life issues. So isn't this what we've been going through? The near future, moving on. Possibly some actual travel for some of us, but definitely, at least, in the very least, the metaphorical moving on from that stuff. We're just going to travel. This is a card of movement. The masculine's higher self, passion. So more of that loving embrace that we ended upon a moment ago when we had the card embrace that I said it was one person's inner masculine and feminine coming together. But if, all these cards can have more than one meaning too. And of course it can definitely represent the couple coming together as well in a passionate embrace, exchanging some love like this. Blocks to the union. Open relationship. This is not really this is in the challenge position, the blocks to the union position. It's not completely coming through as a challenge. It's like this is self-imposed. You can be in an open relationship. You can have your relationship out in the open if you want to. It's fear that would be the block associated with this. Maybe because there's no fear card. It's showing up this way. What can the feminine do? Ooh, karmic. It's crossing this past life here too. So we've still got, in some cases, a past life issue with which we're dealing ourselves, feminine. What about the masculine? What can he do? And he's still dealing with past life issues too, and worry about, who's saying what, who's gossiping, what's the neighbor's gonna think, and all of this sort of thing. In some cases, because the young male does represent also like the May-December thing that's been going on. The older, maybe female, and younger male, or vice versa. Like some measurable age difference between the two of them. What does the universe say? Children. The universe is kind of saying, just enjoy this, period. Don't worry about that. This is up to you. If you let go of the fear, these are the things you're fearing. Stop it, basically. Don't let them get to you. You can be these, young, fun-loving new couples, rediscovering one another or discovering one another for the first time. This from this very innocent perspective and happy perspective. That's really genuine, right? Real genuine love. But it's up to you to do that, to choose this love above these really insignificant situations. We should be able to cut this guy away. He feels very negative and toxic to me. He just feels that way. And we should be able to cut away people, who are trying to talk us out of our desires, for whatever reason. Because they don't support them, or because they feel society won't support them or doesn't support them, or whatever the stupid reason is. And the outcome. Soulmate, nonetheless. The love still happens. So definitely when we listen to these, the negative energy, or when we allow ourselves to continue to fall prey to the same temptations and negative energy over and over again, we're creating this block. We could otherwise be having a relationship with whom we want out in the open, but instead we're, letting fear take over. So we saw fear in the first spread, at least while I was shuffling. And the idea is to keep that in mind, right? That we have protection, divine protection and divine guidance. And so there really is no need to fear. But in those, or for those of us who feel that like we don't know how not to, we don't know how to heal, then just completely surrender. Lord, or universe or whatever, I give all my worries and cares to you. I am in full surrender now. I don't know what else to do to help myself. I feel as if I am incapable of helping myself. I know that you can help me. I know that you can heal me. I know that you can help me to heal me and show me what I need to do, to contribute to my own well-being and continued well-being. I know that you want what's best for me, and I completely trust you. I'm going to close my eyes now and take off my clothes and allow you to do what you will. I'm going to go to the romance angels, beginning with stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. And opening to soulmate yet again. So this is the twice over for soulmate. And add that to moon tree and sacred union. All right. Yes, this is your soulmate. It's like they're beating us over the head. Soulmate. It's safe for you to love. So again, let go of the fear and just do it. Just do it. Open your heart to give and receive the highest energy of all. Safe for you to love. And playfulness. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. Okay, this week is about us, just being like kids. Giddy kids in love. Playfulness. Calling in your soulmate, your prayers, affirmations, and visualizations help bring you together. Playfulness, what is this showing me? Oh, calling in your soulmate. So playfulness back on top. And flirt. Extend your lighthearted energy to others. Playfulness. I'm going to cut. And calling in your soulmate is back yet again. The overall energy is give your relationship a chance. Work on your partnership. And I feel like that's what that last spread was saying too. Masculine. Religious factors. Your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So this can in part be some of that gossip and the ideologies with which you were, raised or that you've developed in your life. And, what's the office going to think? What's the neighbors going to think? What's my mom going to think? All that kind of stuff. And similar to, what I said was not really a block, but was in that block or challenge position, it's up to you to let go of the fear, and let go of these chains that bind you, and go for it if you want to follow the divine guidance. The divine guidance is to give your relationship a chance, work on your partnership. And as I was picking this up, they were showing me the card, not directly underneath it, but the next one, and it is new love. A new person has stirred your romantic feelings. So again, it's that love anew or new love. But in the middle, in order to get there, maybe, is make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So again, it is up to you. And that's not just you. I'm going to get to the feminine too. I'm going to get to us. Because that block, that applied to both, it wasn't to one archetype or the other. It was to both. Masculine surrounded by passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Exactly. Do what your heart guides you to do. Do what makes your heart sing. Move toward about what you're passionate, regardless of, what people would say, think, do, including about money. Some of you, maybe a majority of you, are worried yet again about finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. And I was just about to say that to the masculine. You have to free yourself from these financial ties too, and these worries, that we're guided to take these leaps of faith. And whether we feel we have the money to do so or not, when we feel that push, we're supposed to take the leap. It's mirroring here. The feminine's got the same sort of hangups, and she's tied to something too, whether it's also money or not. And, needs to do the same. Cut the cord, take a leap. Feminine is surrounded by, stay optimistic about your love life. Positive thinking and faith will bring you romance. This is about the law of attraction. And again, our thoughts become our reality. Do you want negativity to become your reality? You want positivity to become your reality? It's up to you. You decide. That part is the challenge. You are your own challenge. You're like your own worst enemy. In the feminine subconscious, chemistry is a strong magnetic attraction here. So we could attract only positivity and love and good things if we allow our hearts and, maybe even our bodies in some cases, because this is also coming through kind of sexy, and sexually. Yeah, and if we allow for that, then it's going to be positive. But if we let our mind get in the way in some cases, maybe especially if we're an air sign, with all that Uranus that showed up, all that Aquarius that showed up, maybe if we're an air sign, we're being really anxious and negative and, a worry wart. 9 of air. We're allowing, in being 9 of air, we're essentially 5 of airing and allowing for 7 of air energy to steal our joy. That's, it's up to us to make a conscious decision to instead give our relationship a chance and work on our partnership. And, toward doing that, we got to think positive and manifest the positive things into our life. Crowning. Express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. And this is for either. And it's funny because in this exact position was a page of water. In the general reading. And that is also an expression of love, an offer of love. At the root, this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. And at the heart of the matter, lastly but not least, honeymoon, more moon. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Now, if this is specifically talking about holiday time for some of us, this could be about Thanksgiving here in the United States. Canada already had theirs. I don't know about Europe. What they celebrate in this regard, if anything. But, it can be an actual holiday. And was it the general? Was it somebody's? I think it was one of my client readings where I had this whole revelation about on or around November 21st, which is very near to Thanksgiving. Yeah, it was a client reading because they had pay attention to the red flags, and there were at the heart of the matter was the wheel and Jupiter, the planet of luck or quote unquote luck or karma for me, which rules Sagittarius. I said, you know what? I'm feeling that things are going to be different in general, for the collective too, around really, really positive around the end of November. And so I'm feeling that again. And that is when Thanksgiving is in the United States. Thanksgiving is on the 23rd. So that would fall in line with that. But it doesn't have to be a holiday. And it doesn't have to be in that. It can be very metaphorical of, again, a card of movement. Definitely moving forward or moving up, ascending, the relationship ascending, and each partner ascending to just a higher level of vibration and commitment. Oh, I was trying to pick up the pile, but I picked it up here, exposing this. Healing family issues. Your love life benefits as you forgive your parents. So it's not just your parents, it's anybody who could be, you know, so impactful upon your life that they, you know, affect whether or not you're able to move forward. So if there's anybody in your life like that, whether it's your parents or not, whomever it is, you need to either repair that relationship if you're interested in repairing it and feel that you're able, or walk away from it, you know, regardless of whomever this is. I was hoping the next card was upright. I wanted to see if we could get some more clarity on the feminine. With the free yourself, speaking of pay attention to the red flags, the signs are cautioning you. This is what's coming up to clarify the free yourself. And maybe it's because of my story. Maybe it's telling me, yes, this is connected to, you know, like the time around Sagittarius, where there will be like a breakthrough and maybe a break free here for some people who are feeling particularly bound to like a negative energy. So with that, I'll do the advice. This will go to the masculine. This will go to us. It looks like a good week as it relates to love. If we think positive, you know, we are positive and we take positive steps forward, all will be well. And if we feel ourselves going in a different direction, being pulled by that fear, then call on the guidance. And maybe specifically of Jesus. Remember, he showed up in the beginning. The divine healer of all time, divine masculine of all time. Who better, you know, to help us with healing these issues than him? So, from the Tony Carmine Salerno Universal Love Oracle to the masculine celebration. And this celebration, this is about the continued rise and elevation and movement of each individual, but also the union. This dove reminds me of, at least, the Pentecost. And the Pentecost is the event where Jesus, but not only Jesus, and again, Jesus was just here a few minutes ago in the cards. Jesus, but not only Jesus, also other quote unquote saints, as it's written in the scriptures, were risen from the dead. And I think that that's what we're going through, and maybe particularly the masculine is going through this week, this rise from the dead, this rebirth, where he is restored, rejuvenated, and replenished and ready to, you know, face the world. In some cases with the help of the feminine, like he's going to need that help. It's 50-50. Feminine, oh, wow. Okay. We have the divine healer here. We have the divine masculine here to call upon, you know, toward our own healing, growth, movement, and maybe to help us to help the masculine, help us to help ourselves, and help us to be a blessing to somebody else. Aw, boom. Twin flame, soulmate, I think there was 3 soulmate, moon tree, sacred union, all in 1 week. That is definitely cause for celebration. And the divine masculine of all time. I mean, you really can't beat this with a stick, this spread. Feminine, karma. So again, this can be talking about Jupiter, the planet of karma. But I think overall, or most importantly, it's going to be about, again, watching what we think, watching what we do, watching our actions, you know, just being not tiptoeing around and, you know, and being overly conscious of everything, but not just flying off the handle either and going off half-cocked. Like approaching things from a positive and reasonable standpoint, because that's what we're going to get back to. So it's important. What we put out into the world it matters, right? Karma matters. Masculine, forgiving and learning is your card from the Romance Angels. As you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. And lastly, feminine. Boom. What I say in the beginning with a true gem. Somebody may be getting married. Somebody may be getting engaged or entering further commitment. Well, this situation involves marriage, say the Romance Angels. And that marriage can very well be, yet again, the sacred union or the moon tree sacred marriage that we saw in the other spread. So whether you're getting married in the 3D, you will ever get married in the 3D, maybe you might not even want to, that doesn't matter. This still involves wedding. I hope that you guys enjoy the weekly love reading. You find it helpful. Namaste, angels.